That's how you win an election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
You
why.
you gotta kiss babies.
Yeah. That's essentially
You
why
gotta shake babies and kiss hands.
he's so
Shaking
well
babies, kissing hands.
He's so well remembered.
Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and for children of bad parents. Adult language will be used, and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On this week's episode is me, Tyler.
And me, Jarrett.
And me, Frieren.
Yeah,
No,
we
I'm
didn't.
Ethan.
We didn't do it this time.
I know, I was confused. I was ready.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who to.
My
Shark.
there's
Himmel.
yeah, I guess there is all the old party.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I should have made my cheat sheet because I can't remember any.
Oh no, I can't remember most of them. Fern, Stark, and Frieren are the newest ones. Those are the ones I remember.
Those are the main three.
Those are the main three.
Those, and then the old party is Frieren, obviously.
Himmel.
Hyder,
Heiter and
dwarf. The dwarf.
Yeah,
Roderick.
I don't think that's
It's
right
not
at all.
Roderick. I don't remember. I guess if it hasn't been clear, we're going to be talking about Frieren, which is an anime.
Beyond Journey's End is technically the rest of it, but nobody calls it that.
It's just Frieren.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because that's like a subtitle.
Yeah.
Himmel, Heiter, and Eisen.
Is that right?
Eisen. I'm looking
That's
at behind the
Eisen.
voice actor
He's the axe guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Eisen. Yeah.
that you could see his eyes and nothing else.
Yeah.
Would you think you would remember it because of that?
Eisen.
Maybe he just doesn't look like an Eisen to me.
You know a lot of Eisens.
I
do
know.
you?
I
Know
know
a lot
of
of
one.
dwarves?
I know of one
Who?
from Bleach.
Oh,
Complete and total
Oh,
sociopath.
well, that's Aisen.
Yeah.
This is Eisen.
Pronounced the same though.
It is.
Eisen.
Yeah.
Well, I pronounce it the same. That doesn't mean I don't remember how they did in the show.
They put more of like H on it, like a Heisen.
I think they did. I think
Heisen.
most of them.
I thought it was an 8. I thought it was like they were all H's.
I don't know. I didn't
And then
pay.
Frieren.
I didn't pay close attention to Bleach.
No,
Oh.
he's talking about in Frieren, like the
I think
old
it's
party.
Just, no, I think it's just Eisen. Eisen.
But Bleach also has a problem where they're speaking Japanese, Spanish, and German.
See.
I'm not lying. It's a little confusing.
Okay, so before we get too far into this, Patreon, link in the Discord. You can find scripts. You can see how stupid I write things
Yeah.
whenever we make a script.
Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. Sometimes
Yeah.
we freeball it.
Yeah. Wow. Going commando.
Yep. There's also links to the YouTube where you can find us playing video games because we have a planned game night coming up.
Yeah.
I think it will.
It was
It's next weekend that we're playing.
which one won?
Technically,
Unreal.
Unrailed so
Unrailed.
far. I haven't checked it in a day, but
Well, I could probably
Unrailed,
do too.
Unrailed's winning. So we're gonna play Unrailed. That will be up on our YouTube. There's a link in the description there, or you just search Chaotically Nerdy and it'll pop up. So now let's jump into it. Notable voice actors. Really, for me, the only one that I had was actually there's two. Clifford Chapin. Chapin. I don't know how you say his name. I can't remember what he's played in. And then there's Jason Douglas. Jason Douglas, I believe, is Whis.
Whis?
Yes, in Dragon Ball Super.
Ah.
He's played in several other things. Like his voice is very familiar to me. I just know him first as Whis. He's also Keisha B in Chainsaw Man, the trainer guy who trains Denji in power and makes fun of him. The whole
Old guy,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
old
like,
guy.
Owie.
And he plays a bunch of other people, but I most regularly recognize him as. Actually, he's Beerus. I'm a fucking idiot.
I was like, I don't know.
Ian Sinclair is Whis. He is Beerus. Don't let me lie to you. Although I will.
Wow.
And Clifford Chapin is Bakugo in My Hero Academia.
Who does he play?
He
In
did
this?
Himmel.
Okay.
Young Himmel.
I can see it.
Well, there's not really an old Himmel.
Well, there
is at the beginning.
In the very beginning. Himmel
He sounds like a stereotypical Japanese man.
Yeah, Himmel is alive at the very beginning.
Yeah, I know that.
In the present timeline.
That's a different voice actor, I believe.
I don't know.
I didn't think it was. Oh, Sabat's in it too, but he's in it for
1 episode, 2 episodes.
I think 1. Not long enough
At
to matter.
the very end. Hey, it made me go, "That's Christopher Sabat."
That's whenever you use the same voice for everything, mostly the same voice.
Yeah.
Though I genuinely thought that the voice acting was well done in this.
I did too.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was
because a lot of animes, like, I'm not a big fan of the voice acting, and it's really campy. This is not really very campy like those are.
It's got some campy moments, but
they're intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any that you recognize, Ethan?
No.
Voice actors?
No, they're from anime.
Yeah.
What about you, Derek?
Just Chris. I mean, that
Just
was for
Sabat.
sure. It was Sabat, and that was almost at the end of the season. I was like, I know that man.
Yeah. So jumping in, it originally starts kind of with the ending of the party.
Yes,
The ending
it's
of the
end.
original party.
Yes.
Well, who was Sabat? Was that
He was
one of the
he's one of the guys in the trial.
at the very end.
the old guy?
Not the old guy. He was like in like black robes. Kind of almost looked like a
Give me a second, I'll show you a
nun.
picture. He's got a mustache.
He got a mustache. That guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He barely. He probably has like 12 lines
If
across
that.
like 2 episodes.
This should be a lesson though for any anime. Facial hair means you don't have to animate the mouth.
Kind
Kind of. You
You're
still have
just
to
gonna
open it
move
a
the
little
facial
bit.
hair around.
Yeah. Which I don't know which one would be more difficult.
I don't know. Just moving the facial hair around is kind of disturbing.
Well, if you make the mustache a separate asset, you can just move it up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just give them,
Tilt it.
you do an Eisen and just go from eyeballs down, beard, and then you don't have to move the mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
First question I had was, are we going to see an old party or a new party? Because it jumps in and you see Frieren and the old party, Himmel, Heiter, and Eisen, talking like they've just completed their life's work.
Yeah, because they did.
They did.
They just killed the Demon King.
Yeah. And so then it walks on and it moves on and Frieren just goes and does stuff. So I'm like, okay, so are we going to see the new party? And then it kind of flashes back to like different, it does this weird
The
thing.
answer to your question is yes.
Yeah. That is the answer to the question, honestly, because you are going to see both. It definitely flashes back and forth throughout the show.
Well, especially like once they get going and the friends like,
Well,
we're going to retrace our steps over these 10 years.
Yes.
It's like, it just flashes back and forth.
I mean, because this isn't really about an adventure. This is
No.
about the life of the people after the adventure.
So far,
yes.
I have a feeling it's going to turn into an adventure of some sort.
Yeah, because they kind of do, like, about
do
halfway
some
through,
adventure.
they really start getting
Yes.
adventure-y, but it's really not about that because it's about her experience in the adventure before.
It's not like a typical adventure action anime where it's like, this is my main goal. We're going to do this
Yeah.
thing. It's
This
like,
is-
we've already done this.
It's literally Frieren going through and seeing things for the most part. It's almost like she's just reliving it. And then something happens that they have to go take care of.
Yeah.
So the question you had there was, what kind of anime is it, though?
Yes, I did have. Oh, I skipped that one entirely. My bad.
It's like slice of life, but it's also adventure.
Yeah.
So it's like slice of life adventure,
Yeah.
which is a weird combination, but turns out to work pretty good in this, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know why I skipped that one. I guess I just didn't care what kind of anime it was.
Yeah, no, that was,
or
your,
maybe
that
it's-
was your first question.
maybe
You
it's
just
'cause I
lied
knew
to
it.
us.
I did.
Yeah.
So first question was, what kind of anime is it? Which Ethan just explained, and then we talked about the old party or new. At some point, everybody's piled up at Himmel's funeral, and Frieren's very nonchalant about it, like she almost doesn't care. Which, in her defense, I guess we should preface this with Frieren is an elf.
Yeah.
And in this world, elves live forever.
Yeah.
Well,
essentially.
they're pretty much like Lord of the Rings elves, where they live
Yeah.
forever unless they're killed in combat.
They're not immortal, but they're eternal.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they age very, very slowly because we do see an elf later that is older. Like you can tell, because Frieren looks like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Even what's her name still looks like a child, kind of.
The
Fern?
mage.
Nope.
No, the mage.
Yes.
Siri. Yeah. Serene, Siri, something like that.
Yeah.
She does too, but
Sene?
maybe.
Yeah.
Croft does not. He looks like an adult.
He's like.
Now, we know later on that Croft is older than, or well, I'm going to assume that he's older than Frieren.
Well,
Because
it's kind of hard to tell because we don't know how old Frieren is.
Exactly. But there's this.
Technically, Frieren would be pretty young for an elf.
At least 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Frieren?
Yeah, because her and Sene have a conversation about it. She's like, Sene's like, in 1,000 years, it'll be the age of humans or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's implied that that is actually correct.
Apparently. But Frieren's very nonchalant with death because she is an elf. Himmel dying is not anything new to her. It was very short in her time, essentially.
Yeah, the 10 years they spent together is like literally
a drop in a bucket.
Yeah,
for her lifespan.
Because it's like a continual theme across the show where it's a short 10 years.
Yeah.
Or like
they have to get stopped at one of the things and like, oh, when will the gate be open? Oh, in 3 years. Oh, it's just a short 3 years.
Oh, there's one where it's later on, and they're gonna stop in some village, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll stay here for a short decade." Fern's like, "No, 1 week."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why?"
And then Ison gets mad at her for not coming for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, it wasn't that long.
Like 30 years.
Yeah.
And he's a dwarf. He obviously lives longer, but he's still
old man.
Man now.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, he was already
Elderly.
middle-aged, elderly when he went on the first adventure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But somebody at the funeral gets mad at Frieren because she's very nonchalant, almost like she doesn't care at the funeral. And the Heiter, the drunk priest, he literally goes, it's not like we're racked with grief either. I was like, damn.
He's got a flask.
He took a drink. It was like, not like we're racked with grief either. I'm like, man, I get it for her because like that was a minuscule amount of time. Human lives don't mean much because they die so soon. They're so young. And then as you go, Heiter gets elderly and Frieren goes to see him. Is it Heiter? I can't. The fucking H's are throwing me off.
Yeah.
Heiter is elderly. And Frieren goes to see him before he dies, and he basically is like, "Hey, is my dying wish? I want you to take this 5-year-old."
It's like his ward.
This small child.
Yeah,
it's like his ward.
Yeah, it's his ward.
Yeah,
absolutely. That he saved from something, and
a village that was destroyed.
That happens a lot in this show.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. There are a lot of villages destroyed, and so she goes, "I don't want an apprentice." And then he says something to convince her, but I don't even remember what it was. And she ends up taking Fern on.
I don't know if he didn't really convince her. She found Fern
practicing. That's what it was. Yeah.
Nothing really he said convinced her. She found Fern and was like, ooh, she has promise.
Because she could cast Zoltrak.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what she was doing. Which, as we learn later, they can see mana. So there's a chance that Fern had a large mana well, and that's part of the reason why.
Oh, no, she was already hiding her mana.
Yeah.
Fern was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
That's kind of how she kind of flew under the radar of people not being able to see her mana.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was at that point. I thought Frieren taught her that.
I think Heiter started teaching her how to do that.
Maybe.
Because
I don't remember.
Heiter spent so much time with Frieren,
he
probably learned a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And more than likely.
Taught her that. I think he taught her how to do that.
He might have. I don't
Frieren?
remember them saying. No, he's saying
Fern. Yeah, I was like, he definitely didn't teach Frieren that.
No, that was Flamma.
That was Flamma.
Yeah,
supposedly.
I believe that there's like
we do see a flashback of Flamma teaching her.
No, I'm just saying because Flamma's books are.
No, we see a flashback of Flamma doing it.
I think there's a flashback of Heiter and Frieren talking about hiding their mana or something. I think
there might have been
some conversation where he asked her why she hit her mana or something like that.
Yeah,
it was around the same time of those.
But then they take off on their newfound adventure after Heiter dies, and
finally,
it does take like 3 episodes.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm gonna die." Not yet.
And as they're going through a new town, they talk about seed rats, and I went, "That's a squirrel." That was my first reaction.
Yeah,
I was
it was just a
like, that's
squirrel.
just a fucking squirrel.
Yeah.
Which now means in real life, I'm solely going to call squirrels seed rats.
I'm going seed rat hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and they finished that. I think they ended up having to clean a Himmel statue, which is also a funny thing to
Yes.
me that there's fucking Himmel statues everywhere.
They-
Like there's the whole party statues, some.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of just Himmel.
He's known as Himmel the hero.
Yes.
But they cleaned it up, and then she cast the magic where the flowers grow
Yes.
around
And
it.
we learn later why he's called like Himmel the hero, why he's so well remembered. Not Stark, the white-haired mage guy, talks about it.
I don't remember that in the slightest.
He talks about like basically like his village was destroyed, and like all the village elders always talk about Himmel and Himmel. He was always interested in the big stories of him fighting demons and dragons and all that stuff. And the elders were always talking about like him helping them carry their fucking groceries,
Little
stories. And
gotcha.
he endeared himself to the small folk
Instead of
around
just
the
being
empire.
That's how you win an election.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
You
why.
gotta kiss babies.
Yeah, that's essentially
you
why
gotta
he's
shake babies and kiss hands.
he's so
Shaking
well
babies, kissing hands.
he's so well remembered is because he was so generous with his
Time.
time and help.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And as they're walking away from that city,
Yeah.
it caught me off guard that Frieren is staring at, like, because now there's been a flash forward.
Yeah, his time has passed.
Time has passed. Fern is now taller than Frieren.
Yes.
And looks older than Frieren. And as they're walking through, Frieren's just staring at Fern's tits because she's eye level with it. And she's basically like, it's not the diet. We eat the same thing. Yeah. It was just like, why? Why are they that way? Which caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't expecting it from this at this point. And then they go fight. What was that fucking demon's name? Oh, I can't
He
remember.
was imprisoned, and
Yeah.
then they go because she's like, "We're gonna go here because he's gonna be released soon."
Oh,
because
it's-
it's
yeah,
been
okay,
so
yeah.
It's been
long.
like 10
It's
years.
been 80
Well,
years.
yeah, something like that.
And then because the girl scolds her for being like 30 years later, 10 years later, some shit. She's like,
Or they were worried she wasn't going to show up.
yeah,
Because she was supposed to show up in a certain amount of time, and
And
she was like,
like,
"He's not coming out yet.
Hey, fine.
We got days." But then
It's the creator of Zoltrak.
exactly,
I can't remember his name, but
I cannot either. That's a good thing to look up.
Zordon.
No,
Oh,
that man is. He wasn't bald.
Honestly, he probably did make Zoltrak. It's Qual.
Qual.
Qualude.
Qual.
It's a weird word.
It is a weird word.
Qual.
Yeah, he's the creator of Zoltrak, which is basically
It's killing magic.
It's killing. It's a Avada Kedavra.
It's literally it's demonic killing magic.
Yep.
It's somewhere between just killing magic and like disintegrate, though.
Kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
But because it's been 80 years
Yeah.
or something else, it's now basic bitch magic.
I do like I do like the magic system in this show. It makes me laugh sometimes.
Yeah.
They're just like it's almost like technology where they're like, yeah, this really powerful and important thing that was there 100 years ago. Yeah, now everybody can fucking do that.
Yeah, it's
And
obsolete now.
It's very simple shit. You're like,
Yeah, because like before, when Qual had made this, it would blow through people's protective magic. It would destroy their protective magic and hit them. And now they've adjusted their protective magic so that now
Solely around Zoltrak.
solely around Zoltrak to prevent people from hitting them with Zoltrak. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense.
which in theory, right, means eventually people will stop using it, and it'll go back around to where probably Zoltrak will be usable again.
Absolutely.
It's one of those cycles.
But Zoltrak, the way he made it, was only supposed to hurt like humans and elves
Yeah.
and dwarves, right? But
non-demons.
But now even Zoltrak's been transformed from what he made it
Yeah.
into
'cause-
something that kills demons as well.
Yeah, because Frieren uses it to kill him.
Yes. Because he has no defense against it.
Yes. Because that's
He
he
didn't know
he
it.
was around so long ago he couldn't learn the defense, which was interesting. And then we learn I put Frieren's boss found heaven. Flama.
I didn't think we got to the Flama flashbacks yet. She just says that.
Well, they start when they're on the road.
Yeah.
When her and
it's not too long after the qual fight.
Yeah.
Because Frieren is constantly looking for Flama's books.
Well, she's looking for any grimoire.
Yeah, any grimoire, but she does specifically look for Flama's books because they're all fakes. And so I don't know if she's just trying to collect them all to get them away. Is it ever said? Did either of you catch that?
I just kind of assume it's just like reminds her of her teacher. Like it's just like a nice little reminder.
Because there's like because she thinks that Flama didn't really leave any grimoires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all these
fakes.
Flama grimoires out there that she didn't obviously write because she didn't leave any.
Horseshit.
So they're all horseshit, and she likes reading them to see what they say and see if they can
see how that makes more sense just to compare them. But yeah, apparently she found heaven, and so that's their next quest at this point, or an additional quest is Frieren has to find. Fuck, what did they call that? It's heaven, whatever it is. It's the afterlife.
The North.
It's the North.
Valhalla? I don't know.
No, it's not. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Either way, that's a side quest that will probably be answered at some point. They call it heaven, but it's also called something else.
Yeah, mostly the priests call it heaven.
Yes, because that's how they view it. But Flama called it something different.
Nirvana.
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yep. I also was going to make the same joke.
I don't know why I'm trying to read this. I can't read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went over this so many times. You cannot read, sir.
Aureole.
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 That's not a real word.
Now I know you L'Oreal.
Is that a shampoo?
That's L'Oreal, bitch. Oh, either way, it's heaven. So at some point, they're supposed to try and figure that out and get there to see. What was the fucking... I don't even remember the point of going. But as they're going farther on, they go, we'll have to take on another companion.
Yeah, they need a frontliner.
Yep. And then we get to see Eisen again.
Yeah.
Because this is where Eisen's like, hey.
That's Frieren's first thought. It's like, I'll just go see Eisen.
She's like, I'll just grab him again.
Even though I remember she specifically mentions, like, he's old. He probably can't come with us, but we'll see if we can drag him along.
Well, they've been gone another 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 100 years since their adventuring days.
Yeah. And they end up finding Eisen, who tells him he has a protege, kind of.
Says, I'm not going. I'm too old for this shit.
He does say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And then sends it after somebody he was training.
Which is Stark.
That apparently ran away.
He did. Yeah. Because he thought he wasn't strong enough.
What a bitch.
Because apparently Eisen is Luke.
And
that is 1,000% true, dude.
Yeah. You can't argue that, to be honest, because he definitely...
his instinctual fear.
I didn't see him drink any milk.
No, that's true.
Fair enough. And true, too. But he does have an instinctual fear and ends up giving Stark a scar. Yeah. And that's how Frieren and Fern find him, because they find the guy with the scar.
Yeah.
As they're going there, they find a dragon who...
Sun dragon.
Is it a sun dragon?
Yeah. It's a solar dragon, but yeah.
Same.
It is.
God damn it. It's the same fucking word.
So fucking disappointed.
False. They're two different words that mean the same thing.
It's the same fucking thing.
They are synonymous.
But they are different words.
Fair enough. But they convince Stark to come with them. They have to fight the dragon. Frieren is like, hey, if you just distract it for 3 minutes or whatever the fuck, however long she says, we'll steal something. I think there's a grimoire in the nest.
There's a grimoire. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
They don't even really... Frieren doesn't even want to save the village that it's next to. She's just like, there's a grimoire in there. I want it.
Yeah. And...
My precious.
Because Stark gets madder because they keep trying to, like... They tried to, like, fight the dragon. They're like, why are you... Like, quit...
Yeah, they wrestle...
Quit riling up the dragon.
Before it turns on us.
Yeah.
But then Stark finally gets convinced to go back and fight. He does, and they played some music, and it was fairy tale music. There was like the anime fairy tale. It was
never seen a fairy tale.
It was straight out of it. You could watch just type in YouTube fairy tale fight, and it's going to give you the same music.
Is it just generic ass anime music?
It's generic ass anime music that is like, it's hard to describe, I guess.
There's a distinct fairy tale.
Yeah, but some of it gets like, it's like a weird peppy nonsense. And Stark kills the dragon by himself because he didn't realize how strong he was, and that's whenever he's like, okay. And did the Grimoire have the spell of X-ray vision?
Well,
something. Yes,
I don't.
Was that the one that the dragon fought? They get a spell of X-ray vision.
Yeah,
at some point, Fern gets it. Because I know Fern learns
it's so that they can look through clothes, is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's X-ray vision.
They also have some other, like, she's like, if you...
Well, X-ray vision would also show you, like, down to their bones.
Yes.
I mean...
Because they have a comment, Fern has a comment, I can't remember which one. She's like, it really depends on what you think of as clothes. You can basically tell the spell how much you want to see, essentially.
Yeah.
Because in this world... spells are not like set. You can kind of like change them with your imagination.
They're open to interpretation.
Yeah. If you can imagine the spell doing the thing, you can make the spell do the thing.
Basically.
But if you can't imagine the spell doing the thing, you can't make it do the thing.
It's all about actualization.
Yeah. And she uses, Fern uses a spell of X-ray vision on Stark.
Yeah.
Immediately. And it's like, not impressed. Which he got pissed off about.
Yeah.
Then as they go traveling through to a next town, they get stopped by some guards trying to go north. Yeah, because they're trying to go north at this point. They get stopped by the guards, and they're like, go fuck yourself. Nobody's going north. And I think, does Frieren get arrested at this point? No, not yet.
Not yet, but she does get arrested at some point.
But it's not this town. This town, as they go walking around, she ends up meeting the leader of the town. And the town's like, oh, you're the famous hero Frieren.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go north. Go for it.
Yeah, she killed the Demon King.
Yeah.
She was actually sad because she wanted to go look through the town for
I think that's the one that she wanted to stay for a decade or something like that.
Yes,
or no,
a short 3 years.
it was the one that...
Yeah, it was the gate of 3.
The gate would be open in 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was the next town where she got arrested.
Yes.
Yes.
Because my next note is demons catch all the smoke.
This is specifically where I feel like the anime ramps up. Like
its
actioniness.
Yeah, it does.
So
Because it's really slow. It's
much
slice
more
of life.
It's much more slice of life in those first, I don't know, 8, 9 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
And then
it's about halfway through. Yeah.
And then it becomes more, I don't want to say...
It doesn't really become action. It just it's more upbeat. It's more...
faster tempo.
Yes.
There's more stakes.
Tempo.
There's more stakes.
Yes.
Well, sort of.
I was like, the stakes, I don't know about the stakes, but it's just...
She's a 1,000-year-old mage.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to blast anybody.
Everything.
Yeah.
So the demons catching smoke is because some demon envoys come to try and stop the war on demons, which Frieren tries to kill them on site.
She's like, you catch the smoke on
And then we get to get a little backstory of a demon. It's the old party.
Yeah.
That Himmel convinced somebody to adopt a demon, and then the demon kills the parents. Because the kid demon murdered a baby.
Mm-hmm.
The parents were mad at the demon.
Yep.
So the demon grew up in that town, living with them the whole time, killed the parents.
Yep.
Killed like some parents, and just brought a replacement baby. It was like,
here you
go.
I remember it was really fucked up. I'm like, Jesus.
I
was like, this is taking a dark turn.
Yeah. But it was to show how shitty demons are
how
in this world.
Like, you can't, because the whole point
it's like in their nature.
Yeah, you cannot trust
to
them.
Deceive.
They will lie, do whatever they can to kill humans.
They also don't understand, innately just seem to not understand goodwill.
No.
Yeah.
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 And then as we're going through these demons, there's there's a third. One of them just has fucking fishing line. He has fishing line magic. The one that tries to kill Frieren, but she...
He has the garrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrote.
So he doesn't really matter because he dies in like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, they
What the fuck?
they get schooled.
And that was what we call a phone, Jarrett. We have those.
From 2005?
No,
It's probably Ashley trying to figure out where her phone is at.
just because I'm.
It's because you're what?
Intive.
No, it's just Duolingo being shitty. They're hiding behind. They usually send like the one tone. That's the Duolingo tone, but sometimes they try to get you to be like, you can look at your phone now.
They do. They start pushing shit at you, being like, hey,
It's
you
time.
dumb bitch.
You're the passive aggressive as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe you would let our streak die.
The other two demons, one of them has blood magic.
I just remember the leader, his name is Aura.
Yeah.
That's an even different demon.
It is, but she's the leader of,
Yes, she is the leader.
of that army. It's not really an army because they're just fucking dead bodies, but yeah.
Yeah. And then the other demon that's an envoy has weapon magic.
Couldn't tell you.
And then I put this note that I don't remember what it is. They got hacks for mages.
They got hacks for mages.
I don't know.
So the weapon magic one, okay, hold on.
Is this having
The
to do
weapon
with-
magic one was the one that beats up Zenitsu. Wait, I mean,
Stark?
It's
the
not,
same character. It's the same character.
It is. It
A little bit.
also sounds like him. Not the same actor.
No, I know it's not, but it's. I know
I
it's not
had
the
to
same
double
actor,
check
but-
about 5 episodes in. I'm like, is that fucking?
Because it sounds like Zenitsu.
Yes, I'm like, is
Yeah.
that fucking same?
From Demon Slayer.
But also way less annoying.
Also way less. annoying.
So much like
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Zenitsu turned down a few notches.
yeah. It's like what Zenitsu should have been.
Also, side note, Infinity Castle trailer came out for
Yeah,
Demon
I seen
Slayer.
it.
and
I seen it.
hyped.
Anyway, what was it about the weapon?
They got hacks. No, they got hacks
he
for
was
mages.
explaining
No,
something.
I was explaining. That was the one with the weapon magic.
Yeah.
Because I thought you said you didn't. Know.
I can't remember their names. I
Oh, yeah,
remember
no,
the
no,
fight.
no.
I
I,
didn't.
I can't either.
They
That's
don't
why I
matter.
put. That's
Their
why I
names
put
The only one I remember was Aura because it was Aura.
yeah.
And I was like, that's easy.
But they're supposed to be really powerful demons, and they get fucking
But Stark's really powerful.
they get schooled.
Yeah.
Oh
Is
yeah.
what they do. Yeah.
I don't remember what the hacks for mages were.
It's something about
I think Fern does something that.
no, is this not where Frieren is fighting Aura
No.
and and Aura gets mad at her for hiding her mana and says that that's a disgraceful.
No, because that's the next note.
That's the next note. Okay, I can't read. I have to look around my mic.
That's my stick.
Well, I have to look around my mic, so I just don't.
Either way, they've got some guys. Fern or Frieren does something that makes them more powerful for a brief second. Don't remember what it is.
I don't know.
Might should have went back and looked at that after I wrote it down. Maybe I did put a note next to it. I do that sometimes, where I'll put a note and then I put what the note means. Yeah, didn't do it. And then one of the demons talks about whenever he's fighting Fern, because Fern also hides her power level.
Yeah.
He says
It's
it's cowardly to hide your
Fucking
power level.
Alucard looking one.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
You know what?
It is.
It didn't register until you said it.
It looks exactly like Alucard with horns.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
But he says to Fern, it's
Yeah.
cowardly to hide your power level. And I just immediately thought of Dragon Ball Z because that's what they do for the majority of the time is try to hide their power level.
Yeah.
Especially early on. And then we get to go see the Aura fight where Aura has these scales of go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Domination.
Something.
Yeah, I think it is domination. And it compares two people's aura sizes.
Yeah.
Mana pool.
Mana pool, that's what it was. And whoever has the larger pool has to submit to the other.
Yeah.
Size does matter.
It does.
It does. And Aura thinks she's got it in the bag because Frieren hides her power level. And
Well, not that, but she's like, they fight and she comments that Frieren's wasting her mana
yeah.
using her defensive magic because that is explained whenever Frieren's teaching Fern. Like it uses a lot of mana.
yeah,
Yeah, but Frieren tells her why you do it in a specific way so that you don't use up very much
yeah.
mana.
You basically just block the shot itself.
Yeah.
Instead of protecting your whole body,
body.
you just block the shot. And it conserves mana because you don't have to make a bigger shield.
Yeah.
And then Frieren gets to show her full. Actually, we don't know that it's the full mana size or not.
1000% doubt it's her full power. I think we only maybe get a glimpse of it at the very end of the season.
Yeah. And she shows it.
If she makes a comment.
Is a holy manna-sized Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the aura fight because it just popped up and it took up the whole screen.
Yeah.
And then they get to keep going north and they get snowed in.
For 6 months?
I think so.
Something
It's
like
a
that.
short 6 months.
And they go...
a week.
Croft.
Yeah. They go bunkin' with the munkin'.
Yeah.
That's how I wrote it down.
Oh, that's what that means.
I was trying to figure out what that
I
was.
did not. I was like, he'll explain it. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
They were bunkin' with the munkin' because he's a monk.
Yeah. Fair.
I was proud of that.
No.
I wish we were a video podcast just so people could see your face.
I'm not impressed.
I don't blame you. Then they get to fight a snow werewolf demon thing.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a demon, kind of looks like it's just a werewolf. I don't know if they explained if it was a demon.
No.
I don't remember it.
But he's, they call him something. He's the king of the mountain or something.
Yeah, he's the king of the mountain.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah, he definitely is the king of the mountain is what they call him.
King of the mountain.
And then they make it to the next town after the snowstorm's over. We get another priest because we're going to get another person in the party.
Oh, is this scene? Or
No,
sign?
no, I don't think so.
Is it not? It's his brother.
Well, we get to see the priest who is a person, and then is it Sharf? No, it's not Sharf.
Is it a sign? Scene?
Verbal. There's too many freaking people in this show.
There is.
It is Scene.
Yeah,
You're right.
I was like, it's scene. And we spend like 3 or 4 episodes here.
Yes.
Trying to convince him to go.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I put recruitment wave.
Yeah.
Because at one point they try to recruit him, and they're all standing like outside of the chapel whenever he walks out, and they're just waving like freaking idiots. And it was that face is exactly what it was.
I can imagine Stark doing this face.
Absolutely. And then at some point there was a tiny sickle. Somebody was trying to sell a tiny sickle.
I don't remember
I absolutely remember seeing a sickle and like, what the hell are you going to do with that? Was my thought.
Cut your lawn.
Take forever. You just keep circling over and over because by the time you get done,
it's like a pair of scissors.
Exactly. By the time you get done, the part behind you is going to go back up.
You put it on the end of a stick and you spin the stick.
Just make a weed eater.
You make a weed eater. Just cut your grass that way.
Fair enough. Then they get to go to the next town. They end up finding a carriage that they're riding with.
Apparently, that's a common thing in like the capital, because somebody asked, "Have you ever been in seen a flying carriage to Fern?" And she says, "No." And Frieren talks about it for like half a second.
Yeah.
And then they move on. Stop talking about it. So they have flying cars, but they're walking anyway.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
The carriage wasn't flying until the fucking bird picked it up.
Yeah.
Because they start talking about what the fuck they're going to do.
It's a demon bird.
Yeah, it is a demon bird. But they start talking about like what the hell they're going to do to not die because they're like, well, we can kill the bird. Like, but that's going to drop us. And so Frieren's like, I'll make the cart fly. Maybe. She's not real sure that she can do it.
Oh, yeah. Also, the mages can just fly. That's another thing.
That was the thing, too. But there was too many people. Because Fern and Frieren could fly. But that was one of their plans.
Yeah.
Was Fern and Frieren carry some, like, one of them carries the cart driver, one of them carries Scene, and then Stark just has to figure his way out.
They talk about
what they said.
They have a comment somewhere along the line that is also a demon spell. That they
a lot of the spells.
Yes,
have.
I think almost all of the magic.
There's a lot.
Because when they have the flashback with, I think it's Flamma, when she's like taking on Frieren as a princess, she talks about how like, or maybe no, it's with what's her name, Sine. She talks about how it's when they're doing the whole 1,000 years of humans. It's like that demons hoard and like they don't want to share this magic knowledge, and that's why she has the same opinion.
Yeah.
So they have like all this magical knowledge that then basically humans reverse engineer to use over the next 1,000 years.
Yep. I don't remember this note either. I put missing party lady or missing party member, and then I put old lady. I guess at some point an old lady was talking to him about missing a party member. This show is So my next note after that, the show is a really long show.
It's 28 episodes, which is not that long.
It's not that long, but the pacing of the show itself makes it feel like it's longer than 28 for me.
Maybe.
Because there's like 3 sections.
Yeah.
More than that, I feel like.
I think there's 4.
Well, there's 3 sections. There's the one leading up to when Fern and her leave.
Yeah.
Like there's that whole section. And then there's the section where her and Fern are adventuring and they pick up Stark and
Scene.
And then there's the section where they're doing the tests.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Which we're getting to fairly soon. The guerrilla war. The fact that the kids were like, I'm going to be guerrilla warrior and you're going to be goatee priest. And neither one of them had a goatee.
At that point. The best part is that Scene cannot remember Guerrilla Warrior's real name.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which it's
his best friend growing up.
They do this a couple of times with the white-haired mage guy that is in the trial. He's talking about why he joined, and he's like, I had my best friend who was a girl, and he's like, I can't remember her name. Like, how do you not remember these people's names? Like,
yeah,
it's easier than coming up with a name.
True, but also like true. in these villages, there's probably not more than like 100 people there, so everyone should know everybody's name.
You would think, but that would make sense.
Who's your best friend growing up? I know
that one.
What's his name?
Fuck if I know.
That's a strange name.
Stupid bitch.
Stupid bitch, and fuck if I know. All right.
Oh. And then we get to move on. At some point, Fern is like, oh, what's your magical grade?
They need it for something.
Yeah, they got to have it to keep going on.
To keep going north. Yeah, because that's why, what's his name? Mustache guy.
Yeah.
Big, Dranzel? Not no Dranzel. Dresden? I don't know.
Dankel.
Dankel. I was thinking it starts with Dink. Yeah. That's why he needs it, because he wants to go visit his wife's grave up north.
Yes.
So you need it's essentially like a fucking passport.
It's essentially saying that you are strong enough to make it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why. And Friend's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Friend's like, I've got this thing, and it's like fucking 500 years old that nobody knows about.
But I love her explanation. She's like, these mage associations pop up every 50, 60 years. I can't be bothered to keep up with registering for every one of them.
Which makes sense because it does, like, the grading scale changes every so often, and then you got to go back and do it again. Fuck off. I wouldn't do it either. But I guess she decides to do it this time, which it's because they need the pass. One of them have to have it.
Yeah. So she's like, me and Fern will enter.
Yes. And
Fern, this is where I think we find out here that Fern's a 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Or 3rd class, whatever the fuck it's called.
I think so.
Well, they say it like when they're registering.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a 3rd grade.
Yep. So the first test is they're split up into different parties.
Yep.
And they have to capture a bird.
That's also fucking starts with an S.
Buddy, everything. Everything is called.
You have to look it up, but I'm just saying it also starts with an S. The next monster also starts with an S, I'm pretty sure.
There's a lot of fucking S names. It's a steel. They call it a Stilla, but it's like spelled Stilla.
Stella. It's called Stella. Yeah, they say Stella.
I didn't notice.
Yep.
I thought it was Stilla.
Stella.
They do a lot where whenever they put an S, it's a sh.
Yeah.
Like Stark is Stark.
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 So I'm waiting for him to meet somebody called a Fjord.
Yeah. But these birds, the Stellas, however you say them, are averse to magic.
I guess sensitive. I don't know.
Yeah, they're sensitive to mana because they can't get close to them if they have a very large mana pool.
Yeah.
They are fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Faster than speed of sound.
And they can do magic.
Can they do magic?
Yeah. It did magic when it flew away.
I thought that was just its speed. Maybe it was. I don't remember. Either way. Basically, what happens in this part of the show is some people will catch them, some people don't. The people who don't start trying to fight the fucking people who do, because if you can't catch it on your own, let somebody else do your work for you and murder them. That is what they try to do.
But also there's rules where your entire party has to...
Yes, the entire party has to be there at the end.
Yeah, at the end, yeah. So
like they have to be... You have to be together. They can't die. They can't be incapacitated and left somewhere.
I would say they don't... Yeah, because they don't have the emergency get out of jail free cards yet.
Oh, no, they could just absolutely die.
Yeah.
And then it goes through that. You get to see several different fights. You get to see... I did like...
This is the part of the anime where they introduce about 25 new characters.
Oh, God, they fucking throw so many at you.
There's the lesbian two that get hooked up with Frieren.
Oh, the sisters?
They're not sisters.
I thought they were.
No, they are not sisters.
No, the water and the ice.
Yeah.
But they are 1000% supposed to be like lesbians.
Oh, I thought they were sisters.
No.
Yeah, they like it is. It's a little. I was a little thrown off when they first did it. I'm like, what the fuck? Because they make this like sexual comments to each other.
Oh, I didn't.
It's weird.
Guess they went over my head.
Yes.
And then at some point it cuts back to where I think it's after the first. No, it's not after because the monk hasn't fought yet. You get to see Frieren talking with Sari, who is the elf that trained Flamma.
Yeah.
You get to see her talking, and it basically tells Frieren, you can have whatever spell you want out of here. And I don't think Frieren takes it. She gets a wish spell, essentially. And at some point, Frieren and is he a dwarf? He looks dwarfish, but he could also just be...
Dinkle.
Yeah.
When they fight, I don't think he's a dwarf. Dinkin.
Whatever.
I don't think he's a dwarf. He's just got a beard.
Yes. He's really short.
Frieren fights his party.
Yeah.
They lose. Clearly. Obviously.
Oh, the other party. Yeah, I was like...
The other part, yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Frieren wins.
It only looks like they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And then Frieren decides to go full on Voldemort and break the barrier that's holding out the rain.
Which is so fucking funny.
It did make me laugh when the proctor's like, it's fine. No one can break a barrier. And she breaks and he's like,
yeah.
Who the fuck is this bitch?
Basically. So then they're walking around. Dinkin's party is walking around and they see somebody who has 2 of the 3 of their party members. They're laid down out of mana. Mm-hmm. And one of Dinkin's party members is like, we're also out of mana. What the hell are we going to do? Dinkin takes off his fucking like coat and it's like, we'll settle this like men.
Oh, the fist
He's like,
fight,
we're all men, aren't we?
It was...
And it couldn't help but think, I'm out of spell slots, not out of these hands.
Yeah, I cast fist.
They whooped the shit out of each other.
I don't remember who it was. Was it not the white-haired guy's party?
No.
I'm trying to remember what party they beat up.
It was just a random... You don't get their names.
Because I remember the other guy that's with Dinkin is like, yeah, you got me into a fist fight yesterday.
Yeah.
He's mad at him.
Yeah.
And Dinkin is human. He is not.
He is human.
His name also starts with an H, I think.
But there's so many fucking names.
So many S's
thrown at you.
H names. It's so hard to keep up. And S names. Oh, God.
There's a lot. I can tell you that much. So a
Heister?
bunch of... I'm
Something
done
like
looking it up. There's too many.
That's why I should have made a spreadsheet.
So then they get... the parties get to all meet after the test is done. Yeah. They get to go relax for a little bit while they're waiting on their next test. The next test comes, and it's a dungeon.
Yeah.
They have to explore a dungeon and make it through safely.
They make it to the bottom floor to the treasure room safely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which nobody has ever done.
Yeah.
And we can only say that because the girl that follows Frieren and Fern is like shocked by what all she sees.
Well, also it's revealed one of the lesbian girls' brothers was like the first party to come in here and cleared most of it.
Yeah.
So it's a relatively new dungeon, but it's not like old. It's just it's relatively new, probably within the last like 5 years, probably.
And she also gives them all escape golems.
Yeah.
Which was pretty neat. like to see them in work, like to see how they worked was fucking great. I was like, that's a good spell to have. Just make escape golems. As they're going through the dungeon, they have to fight different things, but the hardest thing to fight is the clay copies.
Yeah, it's the perfect replicas.
Yeah. Something makes perfect replicas of them, and then they get to a certain room and they see fucking Frieren there.
That's Dinkin's party, because they're like...
Yeah, he's the first one that gets there.
Yeah, because the whole thing is the Proctor's like, you can work together.
And a good chunk of them are
and they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're not working together. We're going off, in our other, people we already kind of halfway trust.
Yeah.
So it basically splits back up into their original parties.
To a degree. Some of them went with the people they were with the day before just because that's who they knew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
okay.
I believe only Frieren and Fern really knew each other before the exam.
Yeah. And then they find out Frieren's down there, or a clay copy of Frieren is down
they
there.
crack the door and there's Frieren, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
So then they just wait.
Close the door.
Come
back next time.
Absolutely what they did. They closed the door. It's like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Like,
We're fucked, bud.
Let's start making a plan, and then more people start showing up, and
It's like a day or half a day or something. They're just all sitting down there planning, and as more people show up at the bottom.
Yep. And then Frieren shows up, and they're like, Frieren, can you beat yourself? And she's like, no.
It'll be a tie.
Yeah. I like how Fern was like, but I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And then Frieren like smiles and was like, really?
Yeah. But that's because Ciri, is it Ciri? I don't, the elf that trained Flamma had said that Sine.
Yeah.
Had said a human will be the one to kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was her being like, oh, there is somebody.
But the trick was because her defensive thing was so good.
Yeah.
That you had to be like distracting her because she can't be doing her defensive while she's casting a spell.
She couldn't detect mana while she was defending herself.
Yeah, because she hasn't trained enough because the defense magic is so new to her.
Because they make a point, they're like, this is something everybody can do, and she's like, I don't want to. I just never figured out how to do it.
She's not very good at it.
She did the old ooh thing.
She really did. I'm bad at it. I saw it, guys. And then after they defeat the golems and get to move on, they go to the third test, which is just meeting.
This is a fucking badass fight. Like,
it is. But we've been sitting here talking about the fight.
It was the most badass fight in the fucking show.
It was.
They're fucking fighting, and this is what I'm talking about. Because after they beat Frieren's copy, Frieren's like, I haven't had to bust that spell out in 80 years, implying that was the same spell she used to kill the Demon King. Yeah. So you're like, oh fuck,
because the Demon King could see through her mana shielding.
There's only because it's going now to the third test. They say there's only like 3 people that's ever immediately seen through her mana.
Yeah.
Shielding is Sine, the Proctor with the mustache.
Yeah, the one that tries to one that tries to fight her.
Yeah, and the Demon King.
And the Demon King. And you're
that's
like,
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then they go to the third test, which is just going in to meet Ciri.
Yeah.
Ciri, however you say her name.
Sine.
No, it's not. It has an R. Brother. Look. Right there. Serie.
What is it?
Serie.
Who the fuck's Sine? Is Sine the long hair girl?
Sine is the long hair girl.
Okay. I was like, I know there's a Sine in here, goddammit.
Ciri.
Yeah, Ciri.
Ciri.
Which is the third test is just go meet Ciri and see if you're worthy.
And she's going to decide whether you're worthy or not.
No, because she gets mad at Sine for passing that many people on the second exam. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? We can't have this many first class mages. This is bullshit. You
they all work together.
She's like, you passed too many.
Yeah.
And then what was it? And then the first one that walks in to meet Ciri.
It's one of the lesbians.
It's one of the lesbians. You fail.
She failed.
Yeah. She didn't even get a word out.
Look at her. Nothing.
She's messing with a fucking plant.
She's like, yeah, I can tell you're frozen in fear by my mana. And she's like, oh. And then they have a big like montage of her failing and passing everybody.
Yeah. Which I think Dinkins was my favorite because Dinkin walked in and Ciri goes, when you walked in, you first thought about how you would beat me.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And then I realized I couldn't.
He's like, yeah, for a moment, for a moment. She's like, yeah. No, my favorite is the blonde haired guy with the glasses.
Yeah, the one that has the clones.
Yeah.
He's like, you're
he's
not even here.
there. Yeah.
You didn't even come to the test.
And then he
I was like,
comes out of the shed.
You're in your hometown.
I was like, that's a cool twist.
Hey, if you could do that, I would be doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
He's just in a cafe, fucking like drinking some tea and reading.
Yeah. It was
Because
great.
it like zooms to him across the landscape.
Like 5,000 miles.
It does.
And you're like,
He's like, oh, damn. You've seen through it.
That was good. And then Fern gets in. And the thing is, if you pass, you get to pick whatever spell you want.
Mm-hmm.
And Fern comes out and she is talking about what spell she took. And all I could think was she picked a good wife spell. Because she picked a fucking cleaning spell.
This is not the first. They've talked. They found. I think it was the town they were going to stay at for Frieren wanted to stay for 10 years, and she said there's a dinky little magic shop.
Yeah.
It always has the best. They're always ran by people that have these dinky. There are these little magic shops. They're always ran by people that have these really ancient, legendary grimoires.
Yeah.
And Stark asks her what the spell she found. It's like getting stains out of clothes and cleaning pots and shit. And it's like,
well, I mean, honestly, what
It's
would be
really-
the most useful spells
very
would be
useful,
like,
but it's the way she described
cleaning.
it. It's
Yeah.
like they're the most powerful legendary spell.
Well, that was the cleaning was the wish spell that
it's
she
like,
got.
honestly, all you have to do is like, I have to do laundry because I haven't done laundry in days. All you do is put on every outfit, cast the spell, put on a new outfit, cast the spell, and
Yes.
put it away.
But it was
You don't have
funny.
yeah.
I would assume you didn't even have to put it on.
Yeah, you just cast it
You
at
just
the
cast
clothes.
it at the clothes. You just got a pile of laundry there, and you just.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
That's what I was assuming,
Yeah.
but I
what
don't
about dishes? We like clean the dishes.
Yeah.
It was like, they're done.
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
be
you have to
great.
do all that bullshit. What if I wanted to mow the fucking lawn? I mean, honestly,
That's the tiny sickle at the,
the
end.
tiny sickle.
Just it's like a Ronco rotisserie oven. You just sit it and forget it, and just mows your lawn constantly.
Yeah, it just sits out there and spins.
It's like a Roomba for your lawn.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I got. Do you guys have anything else?
I would just say my favorite saying is that the entire show is this fucking spell that Flamma teaches Frieren is to make the field of flowers, and it just keeps popping up.
Yeah, because Sari, that's the one that Sari gave to Flamma.
Yeah.
Like
That was
that's what Flamma
Her
chose.
gift one.
Yes,
And it's her favorite spell.
Yeah.
And Sari talks about how stupid it is, but then you see her using
yes.
it later on.
Yep.
It's just nice little through.
It is a
point.
nice little nod.
Yeah. She asked Frieren what her favorite spell is, and it's the same.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, let's get on to ratings if we don't have anything else. Jarrett,
9.
Ethan,
I have to agree. So I'll say 9.01.
okay, and I'm gonna say 8.8. It's a really good show. My only thing is, it's like that first little bit is a fucking slog to get through.
It can be, yeah. It's really not the typical anime style that we cover here.
No,
Because we
But, I mean,
cover a bunch of shonens and stuff.
correct.
But
Yeah.
there are parts of this that are shonen-esque.
Especially
Yes.
towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, the dungeon was very shonen.
Oh, we didn't
Actually-
even talk about the best part of the fucking Frieren's. Her real fatal flaw is that she can never not get eaten by a fucking mimic.
Yeah, I
That
forgot
is-
about that entirely. That she
good.
can't tell the fucking difference between a mimic.
No, it's not that she can't tell.
No, she can't.
Or she can't, but she's also like I think it's the first one they see in the dungeon. She's like, yeah, it could be a mimic, but it could also
it
have
might
a
not be.
grimoire.
It's just it could have a grimoire. So
It's
just
the
opens
Peter
it.
Griffin meme. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's every time just her ass sticking out of the front of the
You know, I did like that. It was like they did one, they go again, and they do it again, and you just hear Frieren yell like a muffled.
It's so dark in here.
Get me out of here!
The last one when Sede is like, you've all passed the wait, aren't we missing somebody?
It's Frieren in a mimic because there was a mimic in that fucking room.
Because, I mean, in the end, like, Frieren, though, she's, like, really old
And powerful.
and powerful, and she's been through a lot of stuff, and she's really wise and stuff. In the end, she's just a child.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's just a child.
There is an important note that I need to add. Season 2's trailer dropped yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still in sub, so if that bothers you or doesn't bother you,
that really
neither here
doesn't
nor there.
bother me.
But it dropped yesterday on July 4th.
Because it comes out in 26, I believe.
I'd be lying if I told you the time.
I want to say that's what I seen. There's a bunch of shit coming out in 26.
There is a bunch of shit coming out in 26.
Anime wise?
Yes. Everything wise.
Everything wise. But yes,
yeah.
anime wise. January 2026.
Yeah. It's
what that
it's
says.
going to be the
When will it be dubbed?
It'll be like the same, like a couple weeks later.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of like simuldubs too.
Simuldubs, yeah.
Like they'll just post everything at once.
Because I'm getting tired of waiting on some things.
I agree.
Yeah.
It sucks having to wait on a dub.
Yeah. Because like Apothecary Diaries season 2, I was just like, I'm not watching that until it's dubbed. Now it's dubbed. So I still haven't gone back and watched it yet. But when I was watching it, I wanted to watch season 2. Now I haven't.
Kaiju number 8 put out it's a special.
Yep.
It's not an actual episode, but it was simuldubbed because it's dubbed. I don't know if you watched it yet today
I
or
did
not.
not yet.
I
was trying to finish this shit.
Yeah. That will wrap up this episode. We appreciate you guys listening. We hope to catch you on the next one.
Maybe.
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 Don't get caught in a mimic.
I do what I want.